So the same media outlets that told us that Hillary Clinton was the more electable general election candidate now have the audacity to tell us who, quote, the next most electable general election candidate will be in 2020 to defeat Donald Trump then. And have they learned their lesson at all? You could tell by my response. No, they haven't learned their lesson because their choices are outrageous. They're just laughable. So I'm going to give you the list in no particular order. So first, they floated Kirsten Gillibrand. No. So let me remind you about how Kirsten Gillibrand has complete and utterly destroyed her reputation during this election cycle. So she is someone who, as a Clinton surrogate, she said that his gun policies make Bernie Sanders responsible for the deaths of children. She tried to put blood on Bernie Sanders' hands because of his gun policy, because she thought that it would make Hillary Clinton look better and look like the stronger candidate on guns. Despicable. That's worse than when Hillary Clinton invoked 9/11 to evade criticism of the money she took from Wall Street. Now again, Kirsten Gillibrand, she also got into a heated exchange on the Senate floor when Bernie Sanders returned to the Senate after he conceded the nomination to Hillary Clinton because he wouldn't drop out and endorse Hillary Clinton fast enough. He wasn't more supportive of Hillary Clinton. We don't know the details of what was said, but we just know that Bernie Sanders was lambasted by this individual. So, let this be no surprise that she is not the right person to put up, because if you make her the nominee, I go green again. So their next choice is Cory Booker. Now, prior to this election, he's another person who I would have said, this guy is charismatic. He knows how to speak. He's on the right side of many issues. However, look at his campaign contributions. He is almost as big as a shill for Wall Street as Hillary Clinton. I mean, he doesn't come close because nobody can be as big as a Wall Street stooge as Clinton, but he comes pretty close. And also, do you remember how the DNC and Hillary Clinton's staff tried to destroy Bernie Sanders' campaign by painting him as a racist? Well, Cory Booker is one of the people who tried to float the narrative that Bernie Sanders did not care about African-American voters because in his state of Vermont, Bernie Sanders did nothing about the fact that many African Americans are in jail. They have one of the highest mass incarceration rates in the country. Bernie Sanders is not a governor of Vermont. He's the senator. Unbelievable. So if you put forth Cory Booker, I go green again. Another person is Chris Murphy. Chris Murphy is someone who does not have the spine to fight for a public option. So not only is he in favor of allowing people to lose their insurance as Obamacare inevitably collapses and now it's on the road to be repealed by Republicans, he wasn't even willing to fight for a public option. So I think that having single payer is a necessity, but if you're not going to have that, at a minimum, you need a public option. He's too afraid to fight for it. You think he's going to be the best person to defeat Trump? You put him forward, I go green again. We also have John Hickenlooper. He's the only person who might actually love fracking more than Hillary Clinton. So we're going to have to wait 4 years before we take any action on climate change. And at the first opportunity that we'll get to try to mitigate climate change, you're going to put forth a pro-fracking candidate. It's just stupid. Another person, Michelle Obama. Now, Michelle Obama, out of all these choices, is the most tolerable one. And if Michelle Obama were the nominee, would I vote for her? Potentially. I wouldn't necessarily go green if Michelle Obama was the candidate. However, the problem with Michelle Obama is she's going to do exactly what Obama did. She's going to get in office, run as a progressive. She's going to become the establishment. She will try to work with Republicans, and she's not going to fight them. It's not what we need right now. So I don't think this is smart. Now, the grand finale of stupidity, the worst person they are floating, and this isn't just Mother Jones. This is CNN. This is others. Guess who they're floating? Tim Kaine. They're floating the only person who is probably less electable than Hillary Clinton. He was pro-TPP. He voted for Fast Track. He is in bed with Wall Street. He supports disastrous free trade deals. You think that he's going to avert another Donald Trump win in 2020? So they state, despite some criticism of his debate performance, the Democrats' 2016 VP candidate is emerging from the campaign relatively unscathed. The Virginia senator remains reasonably popular in his home state, where he previously served as governor. He has a quietly impressive progressive record, and until last night, he'd never lost a race. Yeah, needless to say, if you put forth Tim Kaine, I go green. And I can't speak for everyone, because I don't know how everyone will feel in 4 years after having to suffer through a Donald Trump presidency and half of that time at a minimum of a Republican-controlled Congress. But I think that many progressives would vote green as well, or just not show up to vote. And if there's anything that we should take away from this election, it's that when voters don't like a candidate and they're just not inspired, they stay home. So the ones that will come out to vote will try to help you with, down-ticket Democrats unless there's a better Green Party candidate. But overall, the base isn't going to come out to support these people. So this is a joke. And by even thinking for a fraction of a second that Tim Kaine could potentially defeat Donald Trump after he was beaten by Donald Trump is a joke.